Hey everybody! Welcome to Friday the 13th, the series. I'm your producer, Robert.
And I'm your guest, Josh.
And I'm your guest, Stephanie.
And after a complete, spoiler-filled recap of the episode, we are going to discuss the show you either just learned existed or always wondered how it existed. We promise the answers will be few and far between because we're just here to have some goofity fun exploring a show that, despite or possibly even because of its faults, isn't good and isn't so bad it's good, but is still somehow oddly charming. Let's dive in, shall we? Josh and Stephanie are joining me again as we continue our discussion of episode 16, Tattoo. If you enjoy every aspect of the podcast except me, you're in luck, because this one won't contain a lick of my episode synopsis. It's all discussion, punctuated by detours into the toys and cartoons of the 80s, and our erroneous predictions in no one's favorite segment, Crystal Ball. If you want to play the home version of Crystal Ball, take a guess at which ethnic groups Josh and Stephanie consider to be minorities. Then stick around to find out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Keep in mind, I've only seen the first 16 episodes of Friday, and Josh and Stephanie have only seen a few of those. But we've all watched a lot of Mystery Science Theater, so I think our bona fides are unassailable. If you'd like to enjoy a tragic drama about the Asian immigrant experience in which a tattoo of a demon's claw bursts through a man's chest to strangle him, mosey on over to the Inner Demon Entertainment website and follow the YouTube link to the complete run of Friday the 13th, the series. Can you figure out why I can only remember this bug as a scorpion when it doesn't even have anything resembling a scorpion's tail?
I think the body shape and then the legs especially are pretty much identical to scorpion legs.
What did you two think of the actual animation effect, the transition from being a tattoo to being a real thing?
It was kind of a budgety effect, but it got the idea through that it's turned real.
I actually thought it was pretty decent myself.
Yeah, that the tattoo is gone. It's pretty smooth. It's not like there was some kind of jump where they cut away and then cut back.
Did you see episode 8, Shadow Boxer?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Now, when we're talking budget effects, that's the one that stands out in my mind.
That they literally just created shadows on the wall with light and a body.
Yeah, it was the most basic. Let's mat out a human being and then just make that a negative image we overlay on top of the scene.
Yeah, no, this was a lot better than that.
You two, being animal lovers and even insect lovers, don't know what this bug is and did not look into it.
I actually just looked it up, and this could be totally wrong information because it's the AI summary, but it says a scorpion with a nub is likely a pseudoscorpion.
Well, now I don't feel so bad. It's not a scorpion, it's a pseudoscorpion.
Yeah.
Good to know.
No wonder it seemed kind of like a scorpion, but not quite.
Stephanie, you had mentioned really noticing the wardrobe and some of the production design of the scenes. What did you think of this woman's wig?
Oh, God, the wig. Oh, geez. Yeah, that hurt to look at. It was just like the cheapest Halloween costume wig that you could find.
That is exactly what I was thinking. This is a bargain bin Spirit Halloween wig.
Yes.
And even then, it fits her like a helmet, and it's not even cut evenly.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Very strawy hair and then choppy bangs is what I wrote down.
It's like if I handed you a wig, said put it on, now trim the bangs yourself without a mirror.
Yeah.
What's your hot take on this?
Just how peculiar it is. But she's wearing all white, which no one else is. Even bound in white, like there was some kind of reasoning here, some kind of theme of Lucky Gambler was like, okay, she needs to be wearing white, she's got to have white hair, and I've got to tie her up with white. But there's no reason for it.
Yeah, it screams symbolism, but there's no reason for it.
Yeah, that was just super weird.
Yeah, I have the bigger note. Apparently, Hai is just allowed to keep a murder room at this restaurant.
Yeah, and no one like disturbs him or anything. That's just crazy.
He'll hide the body that will be found later by Ryan the lion. And it's just been in this place for like 24 hours decomposing.
Yeah, I made a note about that too, of that warehouse must stink. Corpse has been there at least a day.
And presumably this isn't Hai's first rodeo.
That's true, because he's chronically winning, so he's been doing this regularly.
It's like right off the kitchen, right?
I guess all the pleasant scents of the kitchen mask it.
Yeah, there we go.
You had some thoughts on this milky white she spits up when she dies that is never explained.
Yeah, I mean, I have to assume that that's supposed to be some kind of mix of like foam and maybe a little bit of bile, but to make it basically pure white and then so thick and milky, if I just walked in there and tried to assess what happened, I would assume that it was death by oral sex mishap.
And again, the fact that it's white just beleaguers me. It just begs the question, is there some hidden symbolism here that I don't get?
Yeah, matching the hair and the clothes and the binding material. Everything is white, including what she spits up.
Even the gag in her mouth. Yes, the bindings on her wrists that go up to, I guess, I don't know, a 20-foot ceiling somehow. And she's wearing a very light foundation. It's not geisha white, but it's definitely meant to make her look paler. Scream symbolism, I don't get it.
The tattoo was placed on her upper thigh, right?
Oh, yeah. The next one, he tears that woman's dress up to her armpit practically and then tattoos it on her abdomen. I don't even want to know where he put the snake on his sister.
Ugh.
Yeah, Stephanie was
God.
cringing when he was about to give her some kind of tattoo. He's like, oh no, where's he going to tattoo his sister?
Ugh.
They finally started to drop the whole Ryan the Lion and Mickey romantic subplot, but instead this one gets a little creepy in that respect.
They can't help themselves, you know? They know what they like.
What is with this show and familial relations? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Leaving that scene. Oh, Lucky Gambler's already back at the table gambling.
Yeah, he was beamed there directly. Did you two notice that they don't actually show gambling in this episode? We just see money being handed over as if someone's won, or we hear characters laugh at Tommy, but we never actually see them gamble. I'm not even sure what game this is. It's played with tiles and dice.
It's actually just a new form of Uno.
I believe Pai Gow is played that way, but I don't know that this is Pai Gow. They never indicate it. It's the same way they never indicate how much money Tommy is actually in the hole.
Yeah, and they never declare who has won or anything that might be indicating that something major has happened in the game. It's just seeing the end result of money being handed over, and that's it.
I'm not even convinced that the writers or creators or anyone on the show actually knows what this game is or how to play it.
Probably not.
There's no croupier, there's no pit boss, there's no dealer. You don't even know who's running the game.
It's like a co-op.
I mean, even in poker, someone is in charge of shuffling the cards and dealing. There's a leader of sorts, and at these tables, we have no idea. Just as the restaurant never has any food on the tables.
I didn't notice that. People were just sitting at dining tables and nobody had food. They were just all waiting for their orders.
You didn't notice that. I put it in my script. You listened to that episode for review.
Yeah. No, I think I remember seeing it and just thinking how lovely it was that everyone is having such good conversations. It looked like a very happy, chatty group.
Yeah, it's just a social club. You just sit there and talk to people and maybe you gamble.
Yeah.
I didn't really have anything up until... Oh man, why am I forgetting his name?
Lucky Gambler? Oh, Tommy?
No, our main guy.
Yeah, Tommy.
Okay, yeah. When Tommy returns home, he has the conversation with his grandfather, who's disappointed with the way he's been gambling and living his life, as opposed to, why are you covered in blood?
Did you have to specify it was a girl that cut herself to hide the fact that he isn't injured? You'd have to then be able to demonstrate a wound, especially since his grandfather is a healer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Is that how he explained it? That she had cut herself and gotten the blood on him then?
Well, yeah, because it's a super weird explanation. This is someone else's blood on the palm of my hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I heard that, but just it made no sense to me, so I just assumed he meant he got cut on the glass, and that sort of makes sense in a way.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. If I got someone's blood all over the palm of my hand at a club, I probably wouldn't wash it and just walk home and come inside and then have a conversation with my grandfather until he noticed it.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, too, this man just murdered someone in an alley. He wasn't at all concerned about the blood on his hands.
Ugh,
Yeah, I thought that was a bold choice, just go straight home without any cleanup. And then the other thing I kind of wondered about his grandfather, his clothes kind of looked like the wardrobe may have come from an old episode of the TV show Kung Fu or something. He just seemed like out of place, out of time there.
It's funny you should mention that because, and I guess now we'll really see how well you listened to the episode when you were reviewing it for me. That is actor Key Luke, Keye. Do you remember what he's from, Josh?
I do not.
He was the curio shop owner at the beginning of Gremlins.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was thinking about that actually at work for some reason one day. I guess because he repeatedly plays kind of a mystical figure that has interesting artifacts or knows about them.
With that setup and the fact that you remembered that fact separately at work, but now when I ask you, you don't recall that that's the actor from Gremlins. And for the record, yes, he was also in Gremlins 2. Born in 1904. He was only in one episode of Friday, but this man was in everything from Charlie Chan in the 1930s to Night Court. He was Kato in The Green Hornet in the 1940s. He was in Dragnet from 67. He voiced Brock from Space Ghost back in 67. He was in Star Trek, the original series, Hawaii Five-0, Charlie's Angels. Stephanie, you like this. He was on an episode of MASH.
Heck yeah.
He did a voice for Thundar the Barbarian. Do you remember that, Josh?
No, that's not ringing a bell.
That's one, much like Friday the 13th, the series. I have knowledge of it, but I never saw it back when it was airing, and now I'm curious. I'll probably go to friend of the show, Jeremiah, and ask him for the backstory on that before I actually check out any episodes. Also, Magnum P.I., Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends as Genju. I don't even know who that is, but for 24 episodes. Did a voice for Alvin and the Chipmunks. He was on the A-Team, Miami Vice, T.J. Hooker, MacGyver. But bringing us full circle, he was on 46 episodes of Kung Fu.
Wow.
I nailed it.
Maybe they let him keep the wardrobe. On this show, it's a real possibility.
Wow, that is awesome.
Just like that actress might have been wearing a Spirit Halloween wig she brought from home.
Oh, man.
Absolutely storied and colorful career.
After their conversation, I found it interesting that... My God, why do I keep forgetting his name?
Tommy?
It's okay, babe. You had a long day.
I really missed an opportunity there. Next time, I'm going to make you guess.
Just got to remember, Tommy, why so? Why?
You're tearing me apart, Mickey. Tommy Chen.
He's washing his hands, and the grandfather comes in and immediately finds his box of needles that he stole from Lucky Gambler. What made him think, I'm going to go into Tommy's room and go through his stuff? I think there's more than just gambling going on, presumably, then. He might have material goods on him that I wouldn't approve of.
Luck is the steam engine that drives this show, Josh.
I was really disappointed in Tommy. Just seeing how he's living at home and his grandpa is like, man, you gotta live a better life. And Tommy's like, no, I throw all that in your face. It was a little bit of a letdown.
You're not proud of him for assimilating so fluidly into American culture? Winning is everything. Money is the only thing that matters. Family is not important, really, relative to money and success.
Wearing a giant 80s suit.
I mean, there's murder, I guess. That probably should have disappointed me more.
Does Tommy disappoint you any more than any other antagonist on this show?
Oh, that's a fair question. Yeah.
Do you have an answer?
Well, that's also...
Allow me to rephrase. Who do you like the least of the antagonists of the episodes you've seen?
You know what, Tommy? Honestly, I hope that's not recency bias.
Familial disrespect earns your top slot.
I actually found him maybe the most sympathetic that I can remember, and again, that might have just because it was most recent to me, but he's seriously flawed, leading to immoral behavior, attacking his grandfather, and committing murder, but it's all driven from weakness that gets out of hand. But he's not a sadistic person. He's not like obsessing over someone and covetous of them or something.
Yeah, other than the character I called Jagger from episode 13, The Baron's Bride, I think Tommy was actually the character I felt the most sorry for. It all depends on how much you think these artifacts influence the person, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty open to interpretation.
You stripped out the haunted curio from this episode, then you have a pretty tragic drama about an immigrant in a new land trying to fit in, trying to do what he thinks is expected of him, and that just resulting in failure for both him and his family.
Okay, that's a really good point, actually, because I think I remember me and Josh talking about that at the end of the show, being like, oh man, yeah, if it didn't have this angle, this would actually be a really deep episode.
Oh, are you a Tommy booster now? Did we win you over?
No, I still don't like him, but I definitely see the tragedy point of it, of the drama.
Did it seem at all strange to you that this curio has branding for Louis Vendredi's antique store on the bottom of it? Doesn't that somewhat damage your antique?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
I just thought it was interesting that there was a nice, easy way to trace it back to the store, completely forgetting that that was the old name for the store before it became Curious Goods.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's the first episode where a character proactively contacts the store and tries to return the item. Which, granted, if they all did that, it wouldn't be much of a show, I suppose.
That was kind of an interesting novel take.
Yeah, the show has continued to surprise. I'll give them that. They do come up with fresh new ways of doing the same old things.
Maybe it was his first, because he didn't do that on any of the others as far as we know.
He slapped it on and immediately regretted it. I've made a huge mistake, to quote Job.
Like when I drew a red line down one of my pieces of Brio wooden train track. Like, oh, I just want to do this. It'll be like electricity running through the rails to power the train. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I can't get rid of that. It looks terrible.
You're so cute.
in the least steady hand ever.
Yeah, it's all wavy and wiggly.
Does Minnesota have earthquakes?
Not at all down the center, definitely not a straight line.
That's crazy you bring that up. I'd actually been meaning to ask you and did not do so once the 2 times I recently saw you, how well you remembered Brio, and specifically that store in the Burnsville Mall that sold Brio.
Oh yeah, I loved that store.
I wasn't even all that into Brio, and I loved that store.
Everything they had set up, it was kind of a nice display. And interactive too, you could actually play with the trains and the bridges, lift them up and all that.
Darn right you could. Stephanie, do you have any idea what we're talking about?
I assume toy trains from the context of saying stuff about toy trains, but that's it.
But you're unfamiliar with the wooden line of toy trains known as Brio?
I knew there used to be these classic old wood train sets, so I guess that's the brand of what I'm thinking of.
They're from a Scandinavian country. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now exactly which one.
I think it's safe to say Lego won that war.
Oh yeah.
Man, was I just not cool enough to get these as a kid? I feel like I missed out.
How about Duplos?
I've never had Duplos. Are those like the big Legos?
Bingo.
Made by Lego, but they're bigger pieces for smaller children so that they're not choking hazard, I would assume.
Oh, they're made by Lego? I don't think I knew that.
Oh yeah, they are a Lego product.
Wow, well done, Josh. You did your homework.
Yeah.
There was a toy that was also wooden. It had these sticks that would fit together at these junction points.
Oh my gosh, those.
They were Tinker toys.
Tinker toys, thank you. Do you remember those, Stephanie?
I do. I had so many of those, and I broke so many of the sticks, but it was so fun.
Wait, intentionally or accidentally?
Mainly accidentally. I wanted to push the structures. I really wanted to push the engineering,
You built the Tower of Babel? You're flying in the face of God?
basically.
Welcome to Crystal Ball, the segment where we gaze into the future and let time make fools of us all. This was the inscrutable Asian mysticism episode. Do you think there's going to be an episode that focuses on a different minority group?
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I think they gotta be inclusive in an unfair way, right?
Yeah, there's a word for inclusive in an unfair way.
Oh no.
You put as positive a spin on that phrasing as anyone possibly could.
That's probably not good since it's involving racism.
Well, I agree. I also think there will be one, especially now that they've done it once, and there's still a lot of episodes to go. I didn't want to get too specific right off the bat because giving specific examples would actually influence your decision. Now that we've all said yes, we think there is, do you have any specific guesses? Because I have 2 potentials.
I, for some reason, think that they're going to go to Ireland, which won't actually be Ireland.
You're not going to believe this. That was not one of the 2 options I was going to throw out. But as soon as I asked if you 2 had any thoughts on the subject, I somehow knew Ireland would be it. So you're thinking a leprechaun angle?
Yes, there's going to be a shamrock or leprechaun, something like that.
Oh, are they gonna do German stereotypes?
Is that your guess?
You know what? Yes.
Well, I'll go with the ones I was thinking of.
Oh, that's not a minority. Sorry, I just... Anyways, continue, sorry.
Yeah, you're picking, yes. In terms of minority groups, I guess you 2 are either playing it very safe or very offensively because these aren't the groups that usually fall under the umbrella of minority in popular American discourse.
Oh, gosh.
I was thinking either an indigenous peoples episode, maybe with some kind of shaman or a headdress, a tomahawk, something like that. Or possibly the black community with a Haitian voodoo episode.
Yeah, when he started speaking there on that last one, I was like, maybe like a voodoo thing. And then earlier, like, well, something more likely than picking the Irish would probably be Native Americans.
So you arrived at the same conclusions I did just before I finished announcing them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically.
So just like I started speaking and cued myself to think of your answer of the Irish, I somehow influenced you to think of the 2 groups I was actually going to cite.
Yeah.
So Josh says both of those 2 groups. I say both of those 2 groups. Stephanie, what do you think?
I mean, who am I to say different? No, I think, yeah, 100%. Probably they'll go that route.
Okay, across the board. Time will tell. It is a fresh take to have someone actually reach out to the store. And I think that's partly because he recognizes the object is evil. Even though he never actually opens it, I think the case is just a case, antique or not.
Yeah, either by the type of script that's on it, I'm assuming, or by specifically what it says, because he points out to Tommy, do you see what this says? This writing means it's evil.
Oh, was that your interpretation of that? Well, that's interesting. Thought he was referencing something written on the needles, but you're talking about Louis Vendredi's sticker?
No, just the box itself. I thought he was pointing at the outside of it. Just like, though, that he actually had a reason for being able to identify it as being problematic and having some kind of curse and evil nature to it.
He could be referencing the fact that he looked at the needles off screen, or he could be talking about some other writing on the box, or the Louis Vendredi sticker.
Anything that has that would be evil. That's true.
I'm suddenly headcanoning a whole backstory where he fought Louis Vendredi in some kind of mystic showdown.
A mystic showdown?
Nice.
Maybe Louis Vendredi got injured dabbling in the dark arts and Lum Chen had to heal him.
Dude, go with this story. You need to have a spin-off now.
You guys are Todd Flanders in my corner. Run with it.
Go with it.
I just love the grandpa. I think he's so cool. He's a little bit enabling, but the poor guy just wants the best for his family. He's like super smart and wise, and he's just so on top of things and aware, so love that guy.
Great character, great actor. I would absolutely watch a spin-off where he and Cracker Jack Marshak drove around in a van solving mysteries.
Oh, that would be so cute. Oh my gosh, now I want that so bad.
Yeah, at the end, Jack expressed his interest in mysticism and being a medicine man, I think was his phrasing. It's always interested him.
You're right. The end of this episode tees up that very concept. I think I'm going to reach out to friend of the show, Jeremiah, and see if he wants to write a spec script for a spin-off series following those two.
That would be incredible.
I would watch that.
100%.
I mean, the Friday the 13th Empire is highly litigious, so we can't use the title, but how great would that be if you had another show that spins off that has even less to do with Friday the 13th, and Jason and all that? We're 3 orders removed.
That'd be so cute. Oh my gosh, those 2 old guys going around. Oh my gosh.
We'll take it to Netflix. They'll greenlight anything.
That's true. That scene does end with Tommy hitting his grandfather, right?
Yeah, they wrestle for the box, and Tommy backhands him.
I didn't assume that he killed him, but it did go to commercial, so like maybe he's going to come back and he's like tattooing his leg while he's unconscious and then going off to go win or something.
Oh, wow. Oh, jeez. That's real dark.
That turned dark awfully fast.
Wait, what's that from?
Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Okay.
I mean, you were close. He ends up tattooing his own sister.
He did work his way up to it, I guess. He had to kill a few times before he got that desperate then. Speaking of which, his next kill and the first with the needles was at the opium den, right?
Darn right. First one up after the break.
I personally loved that because it gives the impression that this place is just openly operating.
Hey, these are the mean streets of Canada, Josh. There's no laws.
This was, the late 80s. The drug war was going full steam at this point. So it's kind of weird to think that there was just this opium den running out in the open.
Yeah, well, as the show itself references Chinatown, I guess the idea is these people have their own culture and things happen here that we just don't get involved with.
Law enforcement would not want to enforce the drug laws on a racial minority group is the implication there.
No, jeez.
They're not smoking crack, Josh. They're smoking opium, so it's fine.
I see.
Through a bamboo pipe, no less.
Did they show rats nibbling on people's toes, or is that just something I heard about?
That's something you dreamt?
That was from a book that I was asked to read by my English teacher in the 7th grade. It was an opium den in turn of the century, early 1900s, San Francisco, and some of the people had bitten up toes.
Got it. Okay, so you told me that. For some reason, I imagined it so viscerally. I was like, was that in the episode? Did I see that? Okay.
What class was that, Josh?
That's my English class.
What book was that?
Hey, I wish I could remember the name. It was about a kid and either his father or grandfather in Chinatown in San Francisco. The elder of the two helped build an airplane with the sun that had like dragon wings. And I can only assume that my teacher thought that this would interest me because she either mistakenly thought that I was Asian or just because...
What?
What?
Wait, what?
For the listeners at home, that would never happen.
Or she simply thought that it would be interesting to me because I had read a Dungeons and Dragons book that was essentially about China defending itself from Mongolian invasion, except in a fictional D&D world.
Oh, okay.
Where there's this powerful Asian culture that was building a dragon wall to protect themselves from another outside people that wanted to attack.
Okay, that is how I thought you were going to end that sentence. Not, she thought I was Asian. Which was the last way I thought you were going to end that sentence. Do you get that a lot, Josh?
No, the second guitarist of the band that I was in high school, for some reason, once was guessing my background. It's like, are you Asian? Are you Jewish? Like,
what the hell?
Nope. Mostly Italian. I don't know, there's some like Polish and German in there, but more Italian than anything.
Wait, so that's where this came from. This guy really messed you up.
That's when your dysmorphia began?
I am all things to all people.
Oh, God.
You are the avatar, Josh. We just see in you whatever we bring from our own cultures.
Yeah.
Well, now I have a very real question I have to ask. Have you ever been mistaken for Hispanic?
Yes, pretty frequently my name's been pronounced Romero.
Well, that's the name, and that's fair.
Also, when living in Texas, there were, I think, multiple Hispanic people that came up to me hoping that I was fluent in Spanish.
You played in a band largely composed of Hispanic members. Did anyone just assume you were?
Not in high school, and when I played at Multicultural Night with my friend, I believe he was originally from Colombia, and then we had various band members from different places, but apparently somebody in the audience shouted, "Those white boys can play!"
In elementary school one time, the gym teacher came up to me and told me I had to go to the next class. And he was speaking really slowly and strangely. And I said to him, "But I'm in this class." And then again, he tried very slowly and weirdly to explain that, no, it was time for me to move on. And then eventually, with the aid of another teacher, they realized that I was not, in fact, the new student who had transferred from Spain, I believe. The teacher came in with that student and showed him, no, he's under my care now. I have him. This other kid, meaning me, is someone else entirely. We were essentially standing side by side, and the gym teacher was like, "Oh, my mistake, sorry. Look at them. They're like dead ringers for each other."
Were you?
If memory serves, yeah, I mean, for elementary school kids, I guess we were close enough. But I guess the part that kind of bemused me was after I spoke, I think, perfect English, explaining that I was actually in the correct class, he still continued. And I was just left wondering, what is happening here? Why is he talking to me in such a strange way?
That is so odd.
I never knew about that.
I've never told a single person, I don't think. It's just something I think of every time someone says Romero instead of Romeo.
Yeah, that would really take you back to that.
Back to the show.
Wait, no one's going to ask me if I've been mistaken for Hispanic? No, I'm just kidding.
There are redheaded Hispanics, for the record.
Yeah, I saw this one on TikTok. Sorry, I watched it on YouTube. Anyways, but it's from TikTok. Anyways, yeah, it's true.
I can't wait till someone points out this is actually some kind of Chinese hookah and that I'm the racist. It's just a giant cigarette, essentially. Programs. Get your programs here. Can't tell the opium from a cigarette without your program.
I thought how they went about the scene was more intense than the show would normally do. Him ripping the dress, like showing underwear. It just felt very intense for this little series. That's where I was like, oh wow, that's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty creepy and kind of had sexual assault vibes to it. And bizarre that no one is even curious. Like, no one looks over his shoulder while he's doing that, let alone says like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
I guess in an opium den, they don't care about repeat customers.
Those opium addicts are pretty carefree people, though, probably.
There's got to be some reason you go to a den instead of just doing it at home or on the street.
Huh, yeah. Community.
There's the spider.
She's awake just enough to be terrified, but not enough to do anything about it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which doesn't fully make sense, but I can understand she has to have a reaction for the audience's sake. There's danger here. There's tension. Maybe she'll swat it off or get someone's attention or something.
Possibly rotate her body a few degrees to either side so it'll slide off that shiny traditional outfit she's wearing.
Slump over just the right way and it'll just slide right off you.
That's why the Chinese traditionally wore silk outfits. Keep the tarantulas off. Only now do I realize it's a very monochromatic episode. You've got the restaurant, which was glaringly red, and then you have the women in black, the woman in white, and now this woman in red. Even her nails are red, I think.
That's a good point. Yeah, not a lot of color.
She does nothing, and the spider gets her, except it's edited a little bit better this time, where you actually see Tommy checking his watch, a little concerned that maybe she hasn't died yet. But Josh, you had a problem with how quickly High, aka Lucky Gambler, made it from the restaurant's kill floor to the gaming table. In this case, Tommy is in an opium den. Is this also the restaurant?
Yeah, even if it's next door, he really booked it to get to the table and start gambling and then be worried that he's too fast.
Yeah, I want to see the missing scene where he's running like Fenster from The Usual Suspects when he's spotted by the cops, just race walking his way down the city street. I'm guessing you guys do not have the episode open in front of you this go-round.
No, I was so sure I could remember all the main details.
And I'm going off of his memory.
The guy who cannot recall the main character's name.
Hey, well, watch it.
What is it, Josh?
It's Tommy Chen. And I am not reading that off my phone.
Well played.
You aren't.
I'm not. That's why I said that.
It sounded like you were being sarcastic.
No, I was just being proud.
Most stilted delivery ever. Hey Josh, what's my hot dog's name?
Oh, we better get you to a hospital.
It's a Life and Times of Tim reference for any of you people that didn't listen to that episode where that was my curio of the week. Do yourself a favor and check out the Life and Times of Tim. The gang finally goes to visit the Chen household.
Tommy's grandfather doesn't want to talk.
He claims that the tattoo needles were stolen by a robber.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was slightly disappointed in the awesome guy.
Wow, this whole family is letting you down.
No, he just had a lapse.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's some kind of conflict between his inner morality and his strong sense of family and pride.
What do you think about Linda Chen?
She reminds me of egg. What is...
Arrested Development. Anne or bland or plant or egg.
Harsh.
But that was my thought, that she didn't seem to have a whole lot of personality. She was there and said and did things. There's not a whole lot of sense of who she is, what she does. Memory serves, she didn't really try to stop Tommy at any point or take the needles away.
Well, she is the one that ultimately rats out Tommy to our troika.
Oh, that's a good point. So, like, once she knew what was going on, she stepped up.
But I couldn't agree more. And in fact, out of devotion to fraternal bonds, I'll point out that I actually cannot for the life of me remember her name. I had to review multiple times because even in preparation for this discussion, I kept forgetting that it was Linda.
Yep, I don't think I ever caught that her name was Linda. And I think to Tommy, she was expense number 2, and his grandfather is expense 1, based on what he said earlier. I have expenses, a grandfather, and a sister.
Oh, you remember that from my script.
Yeah.
I want to be clear here. This is no knock on Mengling Tsui, the actress who played Linda Chen. She's in 2 episodes of Friday and such other projects as My Secret Identity, War of the Worlds, Kung Fu The Legend Continues, Tech War, La Femme Nikita, FX The Series. She voiced a character in Onimusha Warlords. She was on Tracker, The Newsroom, Queer as Folk, Dark Matter, and The Strain, among many others. But there's a little bit of interesting coincidence and overlap with some other members of this cast, which tells you what a small world it must have been to be an Asian actor in Canada at that time. Dennis Akiyama, who played Hai Kwan, aka Lucky Gambler, also did a voice for Onimusha Warlords, and they were both in the Vin Diesel comedy The Pacifier, in which they played husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Chun.
Wow, that's crazy.
And then pretty soon here, we're going to meet a character that I think is called AJ. It's the guy that gets the demon hand tattooed on his chest. That actor's name is Von Flores, or Von Flores, Flores, and I believe he's still acting, much like Meng Ling. He was on the show My Secret Identity, and on that show, he played a character named Dan Chen. So we had the Chen family on this episode of Friday, and then he was on a different show that had a character with the last name Chen. I don't know how much that offended him or not. It's unfortunate that the character is a bit forgettable because the actress herself seems wonderful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She had one critical function, and then she serves to reinforce the idea of family.
Yeah, and how long gone Tommy is with valuing that.
She's the good grandkid. She's really the Lisa Simpson of the family, to Tommy's Bart.
Oh, that's a good description, yeah.
So true.
And Lum Chen's Abe Simpson, I guess. If you like the horror genre as much as we do, you can preview the horror comic book Requiem for a Psychopath right now for free at the Inner Demon Entertainment website. Imagine a world in which horror film slashers are real. Then imagine a troubled teen bringing one out of retirement to help him take revenge on his bullies. It was written by me and drawn by friend of the show, Stephen Yu. Again, that's Requiem for a Psychopath on the Inner Demon Entertainment website. And if you dig it, please either review and rate it 5 stars on Amazon, or don't rate and review it at all. Ratings of less than 5 stars send the algorithm into murder mode for some reason. Thanks. I hope you enjoy it. If you don't have the episodes in front of you, I guess you can't look at Ryan the Lion's coat for this scene.
Wait, is that the awesome leather one?
No, good catch. That is a great jacket and the coolest thing we've ever seen Ryan the Lion in.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him at first.
This would be the previous day, and for some reason he's wearing an entirely different coat, although that reason might be so that he doesn't disappear into shadow, much as both Jack Marshak and Mickey are currently doing in this shot I'm looking at. It's huge, it's brown, it's draped on him like a tarp, and it has the world's largest fur collar.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to assume this thing is Russian. All they gain from this encounter is that they now realize that Tommy exists because Ryan the Lion saw him in a photo.
Is it just me, or is the Dream Team not as prominent in this episode?
Did you just call them the Dream Team?
Yeah.
Do I detect a little sass there, Stephanie?
They appeared kind of late, and then their scenes were pretty brief, it seemed like, mostly, up until the very end anyway.
Yeah, ultimately Jack Marshak saves the day, basically by himself. I contend this show would work fine if you removed Mickey and Ryan the Lion.
That's fair.
There are so many episodes where Jack brings all the knowledge, does everything important, and then saves the day single-handedly.
Oh, that's a good point.
In some cases, bailing out Ryan the Lion.
That's true.
You have a note about how when Tommy leaves this table, he's accosted by Frank, who immediately takes back everything Tommy's won, which I interpreted as everything that was owed, but oh no, Frank's just intervening now to get what he can while he can.
And I've got to say, that is the most understanding and patient loan shark ever. He will accept a partial payment after giving an extension.
I mean, here's what's confusing, and this happens so much with this show. This is the same day. So it was only earlier this night before Tommy, became a murderer and then assaulted his grandfather. I'm sorry, he became a double murderer that he was given 24 hours. So it's just later that night. Frank comes up, sees that Tommy has a fat stack of cash, and takes all but $10. But because you're never told an amount, you'd think that was all. And what I'm really driving at here is the bigger question. Do you get one lucky hand after you kill someone, or does your luck last, let's say, until you get up from the gaming table?
This was what I was wondering.
I'm assuming it's one.
Is it because you'd think that Tommy would stay at the table until he had enough to repay Frank otherwise?
Yeah, that's probably what was going on in the back of my mind, is just going up there making one big bet, and he'd have to kill someone else to get any more. And he doesn't apparently go too high on his bet because I'm going to assume that would be suspicious.
As is borne out later when the casino actually does throw him out for supposedly winning 11 hands in a row, which only now when I say that out loud do I suddenly realize
11 kills?
Yeah, either Tommy killed 11 women, or he had an incredibly lucky night, or one kill is in fact good for as long as you remain at the table.
I think it'd be funny if the waitress ladies just slowly started disappearing as the time went on.
The customers would start complaining about not getting their food, but clearly no one here is interested in eating, so it goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding when I say this episode should be taught in law schools as a perfect scenario where you could make a case for any of those three possibilities. You could be equally correct or wrong. There is no one true answer, but the episode gives you evidence for which you could make any of three potential cases.
Good point, yeah.
Tommy is left with $10, and
He asked for a job.
yeah,
I admire the balls on Tommy to say,
yes.
all right, I've made a partial payment to you. I still owe you a bunch of money, but hey, can I work for you?
So Big Frank will go, "You're an idiot, kid. I like that. Why don't you join my team?" He really, really respects Frank, which I don't know if I've ever seen that in TV or film.
Normally it's just pure fear, and understandably so.
I think it's actually in keeping with his character. He sees Frank as an Asian American who's made it, and he's trying to model himself after the guy.
Which does seem about right with his willingness to use the needles to kill in order to make money.
But I just wonder, how much is Tommy into him for? Because in addition to having just used the needle and won a big payout, remember, he took money off of High, aka Lucky Gambler. That's the only reason I think he has a bankroll at all to be playing.
Oh yeah, once again, my brain was shut off, but yeah, of course he would have taken the money, and that must have been how he got his streak going.
And I bring that up because after this, Tommy is going to go to his grandfather and offer him a fat stack of money. Where does he get it? Because in this scene, he's reduced to $10. And if he has more money, Josh and Stephanie, why isn't he just giving it right now to Frank to pay off his debt?
Oh, I wondered that too. I'm like, oh my gosh, the bad decision. So he has money, and instead of saving his life, he's just like, yo, Gramps, look at all this dough. Like,
Yeah, I didn't notice the contradiction, but that's where I was kind of confused, and I think up to that point I was still assuming that he had fully repaid it. Just thought, oh, that's weird that he asked for a job. Yeah, he cleared his debt, but I would just walk out of there with my life and go, I'm going to call that a win.
Between this $10 and offering a fat stack to his grandfather, did he kill a bunch of women on the way home?
Still, the question remains, if he did, why not go straight back to Frank or go looking for him and try to give that back? Why offer it to your grandfather?
Did you pick up on the fact that apparently both Tommy and Frank change wardrobe to at least some degree, even though this is the same day?
oh yeah, that threw me. Oh, maybe all the blood.
I thought about that, but no, Tommy is still wearing the same clothes that he wore when he killed High, aka Lucky Gambler, when he assaults his grandfather and runs out of the apartment. Yet when he arrives in the opium den, different clothes.
Oh, that is so weird.
It's only now that we transition to the next day where the episode will wrap up, which makes sense because Tommy was given 24 hours by Frank.
I love that guy.
You love Frank.
Yeah.
He's a big man. He once sat down and won $10,000 gambling.
No, he gives me such like mafia dad vibes, you know? Like he'll kill everyone, but he'll be like, oh, it's okay. I don't know. He just seems like so chill.
Stephanie likes the bad boys, that is clear.
I mean, I compared him more to like a dad.
Dad who's a loan shark. Okay. A dad who would get you into a game of Russian roulette.
Yeah. You know, the fun dads.
Is this like smoking a whole box of cigars? If you catch your son gambling, you make him play Russian roulette, teach him a lesson
Yeah, there we go.
until some guy's arm falls off. Next day, and I think the only scene that takes place during daylight hours, Ryan the Lion manages to score the information that Tommy is a degenerate gambler.
They're sitting in the car and he's come in with the box full of crab.
Mickey acts like, oh, what is this strange stuff you got from that market?
Yeah, it was very clearly a box with crab in it.
Are you from the Midwest, Mickey? Never eaten seafood?
It felt like a very stereotypical woman moment. They're like, oh, let's plug this in.
We get a 2 for there. Culturally insensitive and misogynistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is this crazy exotic stuff that other people eat?
What is this weird stuff that only Asians and Bostonians eat? Following that, Tommy comes home and inexplicably offers his grandfather a fat stack of cash. Lum Chen throws the money in his face, and then we get one hell of a moment of coincidence when Ryan, Mickey, and Jack just happen to roll up as Tommy comes out of Lum Chen's store.
So they were not staking out the place, they just happened to be there? I assumed they were waiting for him to either come in or go out.
No, I was certain when I wrote my script that they were staking it out because that made sense, and then I went back and watched this scene. And for whatever reason, they took the time to show them rolling up. All they had to do was use the exact same footage and just start it with them in the car.
Maybe it was just the world's most successful stakeout. They arrived at the perfect time for the person they were going to have to sit there and watch, but they didn't even have to sit.
Well, it is. It's the twin driving engines of coincidence and luck. So Ryan the Lion goes off in his cool jacket to track Tommy.
That leads him back to the warehouse, back utility room of the restaurant gambling club, wherever that location is.
Yeah, by way of running into his pal, whom I believe is named AJ. AJ has one of those hairpin character turns that you only see on this show. In this scene, he is the most affable guy and seems to be Tommy's one friend. And then in the next scene, he turns into a total psychopath. Not because he has the cursed object or has used it.
Yeah, even though he doesn't possess the needles, he feels the need to defend the needles from Ryan.
Yeah, he's basically just a guy that wants to see something neat.
Yeah.
And then becomes an absolute psycho who's trying to kill a man with his bare hands.
Maybe his tattoos were being threatened. He's really enamored with that monster claw on his chest, and he's like, what if I want to get another one? Because that's a pretty boss tattoo. I can't let these get taken away.
Did you two find it odd that Ryan essentially reenacts exactly what Tommy did when he learned about the needles? It's the same scenario. It's a character following another character to this weird warehouse that's adjacent to the restaurant and then watching the whole ritual be performed.
Oh, yeah.
I bring this up because one of the writers of this episode, Stephen Katz, wrote 2 episodes of Friday the 13th, the series, including Cupid's Quiver. Just since I'm here, I'll mention he also wrote some Magnum P.I., Knight Rider, 10 episodes of The A-Team, and an episode of L.A. Law. His formula seems to be Psychopath tries to kill with the curio. A different person witnesses that murder or murder attempt and then takes the curio and repeats the pattern. A lot of characters on this show just get the item and start using it, but this writer seems to go with the far more lucky option that someone is just always in a position to see one murder and then there's just a baton handoff to the next psychopath.
Maybe it's just supposed to be the appeal of the artifacts that naturally someone around them is going to be drawn in by them.
I'm just saying this writer seems to have a real formula.
Yeah, definitely.
Just for fun, since we're here, I'll mention that the other writer, Dan DiStefano, this is his only episode of Friday the 13th, the series, but he did a lot of animated shows. I want you two to tell me which of these you've heard of and or potentially watched. Josh, I know you've at least watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie, did you?
Absolutely.
Was it the 1990s one? Because there's been multiple series of it.
Oh, no, the only good one.
That's the 90s one?
Yeah.
Actually, I think it started in the late 80s, but whatever. It ran a lot in the 90s.
So I forget what a pop media originalist you are.
Oh, I like that I have a title for myself instead of just being picky.
Many of these will be a no for me. The Karate Kid, that's an animated show.
I didn't know there
no.
was one.
Beetlejuice.
I remember that cartoon, and yes, I did watch it regularly.
No, I've never heard of that.
All right. Alf.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it lasted long, and I probably didn't watch every episode of its run, but I did watch at least some episodes when I was real little.
Really? I think you have me beat on that one. I think I just knew it existed. Because it was the 80s, Rambo.
That was another one that I would have loved, I'm sure, but I had no idea that it existed.
This one blows my mind, and I'm going to track this down, I swear to God. Laser Tag Academy.
I don't remember there being a cartoon of it, but I would have loved that as well.
Apparently the Sectars had an animated show. They were a toy brand, so of course there's going to be a show, but I don't know when that aired.
Yeah, not aware of it, only aware of that big Fortress toy that we had.
What do you mean had? It's still in my room.
Oh, yeah, still have.
G.I. Joe, that one kind of speaks for itself.
Oh, yeah, the original 80s or Return in the early 90s. Both of those I did watch.
You watched The Return in the 90s?
I think I didn't like it as much, so I don't know if I continued with it, but I watched it for a while.
When they were all extreme.
Yeah.
They looked like they were dressed in various shades of Mountain Dew.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was a Flash Gordon cartoon show. I had no idea.
Yeah, neither did I.
I didn't know that.
And then he was a story editor for Chuck Norris Karate Commandos, spelled with a K.
Oh, Commandos with a K, but no, I'm not aware of that one either.
Yeah, he's getting dangerously close to Krusty's comedy classic, all spelled with Ks. Tommy tattoos a demon hand across the entire chest of AJ. And that hand is going to come to life, burst through AJ's chest, and then strangle him. Josh, do you remember the show War of the Worlds from the 80s?
No, I don't.
Friend of the show, TV's Matt, and I had a discussion about this in the last episode. Most of it does look like fun models of silly-looking UFOs blasting cheap lasers, and it's all very campy and cool. And then you get this shot of a hand bursting through a dude's chest.
Oh, wow.
And it totally caught me off guard as a kid.
Yeah, no, I don't remember seeing that.
TV's Matt told me that in that show, the hands would burst through the chest and then reach up and try to stab you in the eyes.
Wow, that is shockingly gruesome for something that would have been on, I guess, a network show. If that was following Quantum Leap, that would be a family show followed by that. It's pretty crazy.
But to be fair, in this show, the hand bursts through AJ's chest and then tries to strangle him. And then does strangle him, I should say. Which seems like overkill.
Yeah, also, that's the first time that anything has not been on the surface of someone like the tattoo. So, did he tattoo inside of him then?
You had the same thought I did. Everything else is tattooed on and then becomes its own animated thing. So why doesn't the hand just appear on him?
Yeah.
It's real rubber band logic. What else did you guys have about Ryan the Lion spying and the ensuing Taekwondo sequence?
Kind of reminds me of that Futurama moment with the cast of the original Star Trek, George Takei saying, "Why do you assume I know karate? Have I ever said anything to lead you to believe that I know karate?" Like, oh, that guy can do like roundhouses and high kicks and stuff? Okay.
And Ryan the Lion can actually hold his own against the guy? That's the wild thing.
That was the most shocking. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's the 80s, so Ryan the Lion studied Taekwondo for exactly 2 years when he was 7 years old.
Yeah, it seems like he probably could have done some of those fight moves in earlier episodes.
Yeah, it kind of seems like he's been holding back this whole time.
Yeah. The other thing that stood out to me about that scene, Ryan's trying to keep hidden in the shadows, and then he just shrieks when he bumps up against the corpse. You'd think that whole warehousey setting probably would have been filled with a stink. As someone who's found a dead mouse here and there in my garage at different times, it's amazing how much those can smell.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they would have hinted at it where Wally's hiding. You just get that one moment where he kind of sniffs the air but doesn't quite know what to make of it and then bumps into the body.
Yeah, or stumbles over it, and it's like, ah.
Why is he getting surprised at all? You know how many bodies they've seen by this point?
Oh, geez, yeah, really, huh?
They saw a living scarecrow that decapitated people. Severed heads went rolling.
Man, that's some really traumatic stuff.
Did you two have any difficulty tracking this fight, given that Ryan is wearing that, admittedly, awesome black jacket, but you completely lose him to shadow? It's like AJ is fighting Zombie's head in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I think I was just too surprised by how cool the jacket was, you know?
You're right, Stephanie. It is a cool jacket. It is the duster of the 80s. Full disclosure, I found the opening credit sequence for the 1980s War of the Worlds TV series, and at least that version does not contain any chest-bursting alien arms. Truly, memory is treachery. My new contention is that what I keep referring to was, in fact, part of a previously on segment that probably ran even before the opening title sequence. So the spirit of my assertion stands for now, even if the letter of my statement was wrong. Now that our discussion is caught up to my synopsis, we'll go back to intercutting betwixt the two next episode, for which Josh and Stephanie will return. Hey, ever wonder what would happen if one television episode attempted to combine aspects of Chinatown and The Deer Hunter? You don't have to if you join us next time. Thanks for listening, everyone. We know you have a lot of options when choosing a Friday the 13th the Series podcast, and we sincerely thank you for choosing ours. Special thanks to Joshua Romeo for original music and to Stephen Yu for original art. And be sure to check out the Joe on Joe podcast, the only podcast where Joe Schlepsky discusses G.I. Joe. If you want to support our show, you can leave a review and rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. If you want an occasional update on our projects, you can sign up for our newsletter at the Inner Demon Entertainment website. And if you want to complain about social media with us on social media, you can find links on our website. And always remember what Carl said to Frylock. It don't matter. None of this matters. Good night, everybody.